In my hand is a list of all the things I reviewed, rather movie, anime, or TV show, that has given me complications and has been hard. Rather, it's because while watching the film I see both the positives and the negatives, like Man of Steel, have a very one-sided opinion, but don't want to say everything as if I'm just some annoying douchebag like Sword Art Online, or where I just honestly have no idea what to really think of it, and I'm just kind of like dumbfounded at whatever the hell I saw, like the new RoboCop movie. And I can honestly say, after seeing The Amazing Spider-Man 2, this is more complicated. And not just because ripping the paper was hard for some reason. Cue title scene. Before we get going, I want to make something really, really clear. I'm not going to bring up the Raimi trilogy. I know everyone keeps comparing all these movies to death, and no one will let the Raimi trilogy go and really look at these movies subjectively. It's not our fault. It's just the way people are programmed. But realistically, we got to treat these movies for what they are. We don't know how Raimi's Spider-Man 4 would have turned out. We don't know if it would have been good. We don't know if it would have been bad. We have what is in front of us, and that's how we need to treat it. Time to live for the present. And the present is that The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the movie that kicks off the summer movie season, as well as being a sequel to the 2012 lukewarm reboot to the Spider-Man franchise, The Amazing Spider-Man. And yeah, I'd be lying if I said that movie wasn't just made to keep the rights from going back to Marvel. But the thing is that I still loved that movie. I thought it was really well done, a nicely told Peter Parker story. So going into this one, I was hyped. I have no problem admitting this. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. He's my guy. So yeah, this was the movie I was most paying attention to so far this year. And to be perfectly honest, I really liked this film. Yeah, there's a lot of great, enjoyable things in this. And I'm not going to lie, it services my inner fanboy well. And it does this in some good ways, does it in some guilty pleasure ways, and that's really the problem with this film. I've spent the past day since I've seen it just trying to figure out, did I really like this movie for my inner fanboy, or subjectively, is it a good film? So because of this, let's look at the plot and take it from there. The plot to this movie is, yeah, what the trailers have more or less set it up to be. You've got Spider-Man, Peter Parker, played by Andrew Garfield, the perfect actor for the role. He has graduated high school, thank God we're past that, and he's living his life. And the idea is that this involves his relationship with Gwen Stacy and the complications brought up from the death of her father in the last movie and where that goes, to the now return of Harry Osborn, who is back to find Spider-Man because he's going to die because they created this weird, I guess, family disease the Osborns had, and yeah, that part kind of becomes a bit of a mess. But what really saves this movie is definitely the actors. There's no denying the cast for this movie is excellent. Like I said, Andrew Garfield is the perfect Spider-Man, but not just because of that. The way he bounces off everyone is excellent. Him and Emma Stone have a great chemistry with them, and even though I thought their relationship was rushed at points and some things more shoehorned, they always made it feel at least a little bit natural and nice to watch. Dane DeHaan, who plays Harry Osborn in this movie, is excellent, hands down. The new addition to the film that really kept me enticed. I loved every scene with him in him. I thought he was excellent as the Goblin when that showed up towards the end, which, let's face it, was in every trailer. It's not a spoiler at this point. And I thought that was good. I thought that Aunt May, I liked where her role went in this movie. I thought Jamie Foxx's Electro was awesome. I was really worried in the trailers Electro would be this annoying, the same thing as like Edward Nygma from Batman Forever and all that stuff. Even though, yeah, it's the same role, and I'm a little confused how I'm supposed to receive him at first, once he becomes Electro, he is scary, he is intimidating, he is awesome, and Jamie Foxx really brings it. From there, though, yeah, Paul Giamatti as the Rhino, he's in the movie 5 minutes. I'm saving you getting that ruined now because, yeah, it pissed me off that he's in all the trailers. We see his one scene as Rhino in every commercial, and it's just there. And that's really the problem of this movie. It is setting everything up for all these goddamn sequel and spin-off movies. And even though, yeah, I'm really curious to see where things go for the Spider-Man franchise, I honestly think that this movie suffers under its own weight because it feels like 50% of what happens in this film is just setting up for something else. We see, hints of the Sinister Six. A lot of people have pointed out hints of Venom and Morpheus, and Black Cat sort of is in this movie in a nice, subtle way. And because of this, a lot of the positives in this movie are also negatives. As I said before with Peter and Gwen, their relationship is great because of how the two bounce off each other and act so naturally with each other, but at the same token, it is rushed, and a lot of times it kind of feels like it's just there because it needs to be there. The way they include Peter's parents and everything that happened there is very well done. But the problem is that, once again, just feels there, kind of shoehorned. It needs to be there because they couldn't just resolve it in the last movie, even though we all kind of figured out what happened. Everything with Harry is good, but again, everything in this movie is both positive and negative, and that's my problem. Being able to separate my fanboyism from being, a subjective movie reviewer. But at the end of the day, I can't ignore the fact that I enjoyed this movie a lot. The plot's fun. Jamie Foxx does an amazing job. I loved the design. I loved Harry. I loved a lot of things in this movie, but I also acknowledge a lot of the positives in this movie are also fair and balanced negatives. The best way to look at this movie is as a Peter Parker and Harry Osborn story. You can also look at it as 1,000 other stories. But, again, this is my opinion. This is the way I view it. Go see this movie. Have your own thoughts, because The Amazing Spider-Man is 8 out of 10 on the action movie scale. The action is excellent in this film. Sometimes the CGI is a little too obvious, but the film looks fun. It's got awesome action. The comedy is a lot more there than I thought it would be. The drama, I thought, though again, shoehorned, does feel nicely handled, and I can't ignore the fact that I had a hell of a good time watching this movie. And what hell of a good time have you had with Spider-Man movies? Yeah, let's go with that. In the comment section below, give me your favorite version of Spider-Man. Rather it's a film, TV show, or your favorite Spider-Man comics. Do it below, because on this channel, Spider-Man is king. If only his movies felt more that way.